Welcome to the Go Laurel Highlands Steelers Schedule Release Show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the KDKA TV studios. This is our schedule release show for the Pittsburgh Steelers 2025. Bob Pompeani along with Arthur Don't Cross the Moats, who is here with us to break it all down. And Arthur, before we talk about the schedule, how about you as a player? Did you look forward to these kind of days? Or, I mean, it's taken on a whole life of its own, hasn't it?
Listen, back when I was playing, this was a very small scale event. Now, I mean, you look at how many cameras, how many people are talking about the show. So, yeah, it's hard to not pay attention to it nowadays. Yeah,
we already knew, of course, Arthur, coming into this, what the teams would be, where and when were the big items. And we found that out today. And we found out that week number 1 will be a very interesting matchup with the New York Jets on the road. And what this means is that we're talking about Justin Fields, who had an opportunity to stay here, chose not to. And, who knows about Aaron Rodgers, but if he goes there, I'm sure the NFL says this is a juicy topic. We may have Aaron Rodgers against Justin Fields. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, that's the storyline that everybody would want to see if we're able to get this, because for both of those teams, hey, did you make it right? Or for those players, did you choose right leaving those organizations?
Right. Well, all right, here we go. We're going to take a look at the first half of the schedule, and you'll see it's at New York on September the 7th. Then the home opener against Seattle, and that would be the team that traded DK Metcalf to Pittsburgh. That's a 1 o'clock start for the home opener on September 14th. At the Patriots, with Vrabel now in charge of that program at 1. And then, of course, you get to week number 4 and the Minnesota Vikings and Ireland, 9:30 a.m., Croke Park. And what a time that will be. We got the bye week after that, but that's an early bye week. After that, it's Cleveland. Then a Thursday night game at Cincinnati, Green Bay. After that, a Sunday night game. That's at home. And that could be Rodgers going against his old team. And then the Indianapolis Colts at 1 o'clock. Here's the second one. Second half of the schedule, beginning with the Chargers. That'll be a Sunday night game. Cincinnati Bengals at home. Then at the Bears. Buffalo at home. That's a 4:25 game. At Baltimore. Miami on a Monday night here in Pittsburgh. And then at Detroit, never easy, at Cleveland at 1 o'clock. The final game of the year will be TBD, and that'll be the Baltimore Ravens. So your thoughts on what you see so far, especially the first half of the season. We talked last year about the back half of the season really being loaded against the Steelers. Sort of similar this year. Your thoughts on the first half, though?
No, absolutely, man. At least with the first half, though, I look and I say you have some opportunities with young quarterbacks or new organizations, right? And what I mean is Jets, new quarterback, new head coach, Seahawks, new quarterback. You look at the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy. He missed all of last year. That's another new quarterback. And then when you start going down even further, that's kind of the thought process. So I like that part early on. It gives me a little bit of optimism, but we obviously know we still got to figure out what we're doing at quarterback.
Yeah, there are a lot of questions. It's going to be interesting to see the Steelers go to Ireland. They played a preseason game there like 28 years ago, but never a meaningful game. And that's going to take place, as we said, as the Steelers go to Dublin at Croke Park, legendary place. Your thought, Arthur, about international play now. The NFL is not going back. They're going forward, and there are going to be more of these, specifically about this.
No, 100%, man. I remember my first international game, we were playing in Toronto, and we never left North America. That was the vibe back in 2010. Whereas when you look at it now, you see them playing in Spain, Brazil, Mexico. And obviously this Ireland game is going to be huge, and I think it's something that us, the Steelers Nation, should rally behind, and we should really be looking forward to it.
Yeah, no question about it. It's going to be must-see, and the Minnesota Vikings are a good football team, even without, the quarterback they had last year who's now in Seattle, but J.J. McCarthy is something to work about. So Sam Darnold, we'll see him in week number 2. Let's talk about the home schedule. If I show this to you, if you have to pick one game that you really think about of the 8 home games, the 9th one will be in Dublin. What's the biggest opponent that you see in that, or the toughest assignment maybe?
Yeah, to me, man, I look at that Bills matchup. Number 1, you got the reigning MVP, Josh Allen, coming to town. Why is that important? Well, we talk about our model here. Defense. Do you make sure that you're running the football, and ultimately will this model work against the unicorn quarterbacks? Well, this is the league MVP. This is the best version of that. So let's see, can our running the ball, playing defense, and not allowing the explosive plays, can that hold up in 2025 versus this type of team right now?
Yeah, that's an explosive team, and they want to get to the finish line. They haven't done it yet.
Went to the AFC Championship last year as well.
All right, let's talk about the road schedule now, because when you take a look at some of the opponents here, you say to yourself, all right, they have a chance to win some of these games here. It's never going to be easy. Chicago's much improved. You got the Ravens, you got the AFC North schedule, but at Detroit seems to be a big one. Your thought about the toughest assignment on the road they'll face?
Listen, Detroit is tough, but I look at that Baltimore matchup. Why? You're facing them in December. I mean, by now, this is a well-oiled machine, and you know that man right there that you're showing. Derrick Henry, they just gave him an extension. So you have to deal with him along with Lamar Jackson, who was an MVP finalist. And that is just a very tough place to play in when you obviously know the bad blood that we both have between the organizations. But to me, I always have that one. Whenever the first Ravens road game is, that always sticks out to me.
No question about it. All right. By the way, Derrick Henry got a 2-year extension for $30 million, so they are going to continue to do what they do down there in the run game. Let's talk about the home field, and it may be a disadvantage when you look at the opponents who are coming here this year. This is based on last year. The home opponents, they have a .575 win percentage with 88 wins. The road opponents seem to be easier. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens there, but it's going to be tough at home for the Steelers against some very nice opponents and some games that I'm sure fans are going to want to see in person. In the meantime, the Steelers, as they always do, and their media production staff puts together a very interesting first look at this schedule, searching for the answers, as it were, and we're going to take a look at it right now, and we'll talk about it when we come back.
It's NFL schedule release day, and you know we couldn't resist the call of the Squatch.
So that's why we're in the woods of southwestern PA to kill some time.
We just got an anonymous tip on our Discord channel that there's a Squatch in them woods.
And when the Squatchies call, we answer.
So follow along as we pursue our goal of sacking Sasquatch.
Being Steelers, we know a thing or two about hard work.
We've been tracking Sasquatch since our Wisconsin days.
We've heard it.
We've smelled it.
I fear one night we may have even tasted it.
But we've never been able to capture it on film.
Tonight, that all changes.
Oh, bro, I was saving that for the Ireland game.
Bro, don't worry, you look good, dog. Feel that, bro? There's something in the wind.
Ah, Newski, the Squatch got me. That is not the Squatch, bro. Get up. But I think we're getting close. No doubt we're getting close.
Bro, seriously, I can only think of one creature that could cause such calculated destruction like this.
He even jumped on the table. What is he doing?
He refused to eat that chili, though. Ugh. A lot of animals can ransack a campsite. Bears, variety of big cats, stampede of horses, maybe even a buffalo. But that wasn't what happened here. An intelligent mammal ransacked this camp. Cold, calculated, like only a Squatch could.
This is a Pittsburgh Sasquatch. I know what we need. Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of the law. That's him, that's him, that's him.
Oh my gosh. Are you seeing what I'm seeing, bro?
Yeah, bro, it looks like the Sasquatch is doing the sacking.
Everyone comes to the wilderness for their own reasons. Everyone is just looking for something. It could be validation or freedom.
Me, I'm just a metaphor for the schedule. I'm elusive. People spread rumors about me, and I'm only seen when I want to be seen. And I'll never pass up an opportunity to mess with those two dudes.
How about that acting? Those guys put it on, and you can see as they take a look at the schedule one more time, you can find more of this. This is just a portion of what they produced, and you can go to the Steeler digital platforms and find them all. Good job there by Steelers media and their TV production staff. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Steeler preseason schedule, because that's important to us here at KDKA. We do a lot of the games. We're going to find out where they go. 3 games to talk about. It's next as we continue with our Steelers schedule release program.
Welcome back to the Go Laurel Highlands Steelers Schedule Release Show.
All right, welcome back. Bob Pompeani, Arthur Moats with you, and we talked about the regular season schedule, the preseason schedule. Well, we have 3 games, and it'll be the Steelers at Jacksonville. That'll be the first one in early August. Then it'll be Tampa coming to Pittsburgh on August the 16th, the only home game, and then the Steelers will go to Carolina to round it out. So, Arthur, let's talk about preseason. What are you going to be watching in the preseason? Not named quarterback, because I think we still don't know about that one.
I mean, of course we want to look at that, but what are the wide receivers we have? Can we pull up that depth chart real quick? Let me see this real quick, man. There we go. I mean, obviously, we know DK Metcalf. Very confident in him. We know him really well. But Calvin Austin, let's see what that next step looks like from him. Robert Woods, a former teammate from Buffalo. New guy, right? Can you still show that you have some of that veteran savvy that we saw you show in Houston, while also you did it in LA with the Rams? Those are the guys that I'm looking at. And, of course, our draft pick from last year, Roman Wilson. We saw Calvin Austin take that big leap coming from his injury after his first year. Can Roman Wilson do similar things? Because we obviously know we are missing a big piece of production that we traded away to Dallas a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they're going to need all those guys to step up, and Roman Wilson will be under the spotlight in year number 2, considering what happened last year. All right, now, you know, some days are better than others when it comes to Steelers and scheduling. You saw a gamut of different times there. We're going to have 1 o'clock, you're going to have 4:25, you're going to have night games, you're going to have Monday, Sunday, whatever, Thursday. But let's take a look at how they do on these days. Because, Arthur, there is a difference here. Now, these are since 2019. Last year, 0-1 on Thursdays, but 1-5 overall. For some reason, doesn't work on Thursdays. Saturday, 0-1 last year, 3-2 overall. Sunday at 1, that seems popular. And since 2019, 31 wins, a .637 win percentage. Sunday at 4, you see that. Sunday Night Football. Monday night, 8-1. So what is it about these, you know, specifically Monday night and Sunday at 1 that makes it so successful?
Well, Sunday at 1, I mean, that's just a beautiful day for football. So I feel like Coach Tomlin always does an excellent job of getting guys prepared for that. And the same with primetime games. It's a 5-star matchup because we are in it. And those are the things that we rally around. And I think that that's why you consistently see Coach Tomlin and his team show up on Sundays at 1 o'clock and, more importantly, in primetime. I mean, the fruit right there. I mean, 8-1, right? 8-1. This is what they do. But like I say, he does a great job of just getting you ready to go in those big moments like that.
Plus, I think you guys like a routine. You like to have this sort of a routine.
Absolutely.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about the Steelers draft class, because a lot of the guys that we saw drafted are going to play prominent roles, especially early in this season, you would think. We'll get into that next as we continue right here with the Steelers Schedule Release Show.
Welcome back to the Go Laurel Highlands Steelers Schedule Release Show.
All right, back in April, the Steelers made 7 selections in the 2025 NFL Draft. A lot of these guys will be expected to play, especially preseason, and see what they can do. Rich Walsh had a chance to speak to the guy who was taken in the first round, and a guy who they expect big things from. He's a big man, Derek Harmon from the University of Oregon.
Guys, the Steelers' newest stars hit the fields on the South Side for the first time last weekend, and it was also the first time we heard from first-round draft pick Derek Harmon, who said his focus is on football right now, but it also was a very difficult weekend for him. Harmon is still dealing with the loss of his mom, who passed away hours after he was drafted. He said when he arrived in Pittsburgh last Thursday, he immediately got to work on the South Side and feels right at home with the Steelers and thinks this is the perfect fit for him.
You got to have some grit to be in this organization. You got to have a little bit of edge to you, and you got to play with a little bit of pride to you, and I feel like that's me. So I'm coming from Oregon, and they throw everything at us. So I was in the NFL at Oregon, and I feel like I'm right here. So they prepare us at Oregon very well for this type things.
Harmon and the rest of the team are off until the start of OTAs on May 27th. Guys?
All right, Rich, thanks. He's going to be counted on heavily because that's a position of need. So Derek Harmon was the first-round pick. Then it's Caleb Johnson, a running back who they really like from Iowa, Jack Sawyer. Ben Roethlisberger was calling him maybe Captain Jack. He has the capabilities of being that guy. Y.A. Black, after that, again, an Iowa product. Will Howard, the 6th-round pick out of Ohio State. They got 2 captains from the national champions. And then Carson Bruner, Mark Sun, and Dante Kent. So, Arthur, when you look at this class, and I would be remiss if I didn't say, they didn't have a 2nd-round pick, but it turned out to be DK Metcalf.
I think that's a pretty impressive 2nd-round pick. I like that pick, personally. Heck yeah.
What about the rest of them? Who's going to stand out to you? Who do you want to see a lot of?
Man, to me, Caleb Johnson. I'm a big Najee Harris fan, so obviously him leaving, I feel like there's a big hole that has to be filled. And he's one of those guys that understands how to tote that rock, and he's a big body back, and I think he's going to help us out a lot. But I also love the Jack Sawyer pickup as well, because you can never have enough pass rushers. You can never have enough mean guys on the edge. And that is definitely how Jack Sawyer plays the game. And we saw that in the college football playoffs, where he really made a lot of plays down the stretch for that Ohio State Buckeye defense.
Yeah, including a big touchdown run
Absolutely.
as well. So they got some guys who've been down there, a lot of productivity, guys who excelled in college, and I think that's what they were looking for in this draft. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will continue taking a look at the AFC North and some specific dates we have coming up on your NFL calendars. It's all next.
Welcome back to the Go Laurel Highlands Steelers Schedule Release Show.
Continue by taking a look at the AFC North, and the Steelers have done well in the division over the years. A couple of years ago, they went 5-1. So let's take a look at when these games occur. Last year, we saw a lot of backloaded games, all these division games. This year, a little bit spread out. But you see, week 14 and week 18, they saved the best for last. You got those two Raven games right at the end of the year. But overall, your take about this?
Listen, man, the NFL knows exactly what they're doing, putting those Ravens games back to back like that. To me, man, that's the one, though, that we have to most be worried about. Obviously, with Cincinnati, they can score a lot of points, but defensively, they are in turmoil. I mean, you see some of the contract stuff they're having with Trey Hendrickson and their draft picks. But to me, Baltimore, that's the one that we really, always focus on, because you know how they are, and they have a lot coming back also. And with Cleveland, I mean, it's Cleveland.
It's Cleveland.
It's Cleveland. They got some quarterbacks.
They got a lot of quarterbacks.
Which one are we going to see? That's the question.
What would you say? I'd say Pickett, because they traded for him.
What about
Joe
Flacco? I was going to say,
yeah, he's always in the...
Well, and if you let social media tell it, Shedeur Sanders is already first-team All-Pro.
I know, but they drafted two quarterbacks in the span of 2 rounds. I didn't understand it. All right. Coming up season, even though it starts in September, man, it's like year-round with the NFL. And OTAs are coming up. And so we see the schedule here, May 27th through 29, the first 3, June 3rd through the 5th, 4 through 6. Now, there's a difference there, and that would be they used to have 9 of these, Arthur. Are you a fan of OTAs? Did you guys do them back in the day?
Bob, they're getting soft out here. How do you cut out a whole week of OTAs? That's a rite of passage. You hate it, but you have to do it. And for me, it was one of those things that I always enjoyed the process of getting out there with your teammates, being able to reconnect, because obviously this is the first time that all of the guys get back together, vets included, since the season ended. So you getting a chance to get everybody out there on the grass, and now we get a chance to work on all the new concepts. And hey, man, if we've been seeing you train and put certain videos on social media, well, now we get a chance to see if those are real or was it fool's gold, because that happens a lot of times.
It does. But that's going to be interesting. So not 9, but 6 OTAs, and then, of course, minicamp and training camp. And when we come back, we'll take a look one more time at the entire schedule for the Steelers heading into 2025. Very interesting dates and opponents. We'll delve into it next right here on KDKA+. Well, I'll tell you, girls flag football really up in popularity. You can watch the championship game from 4 to 6 right here on KDKA+ this coming Sunday. So make sure you make a note of that. Steelers heavily involved with flag football, and it's really taken off in popularity. All right, and so is the schedule release day, because everyone's talking about it. It's been a big topic of conversation today. We're going to show you all of these games now. In case you missed it earlier, 3 preseason games. Steelers at Jags Saturday, August the 9th. And then Tampa comes to Pittsburgh, the only home preseason game on the 16th. The 21st on a Thursday is Pittsburgh, Carolina. And then we go to the first part of the schedule. And when you look at it, again, some interesting, I think an opportunity, Arthur, to start good for the Steelers, just like they did last year. They have some teams that I think they could beat right off the bat.
No, absolutely. I mean, all of these teams, as we said earlier, have question marks, have transitions or big change organizationally. And whenever that happens, yeah, there are most definitely opportunities for the Steelers to come in there and take care of business.
All right, second half of this schedule has a tough finish, I think, when you look at Baltimore and then Miami. And who knows what Miami's going to be like, but that's a Monday night game here in Pittsburgh. That's good. Bring the fish here at 12:15-25. That's a good recipe. And then at Detroit, at Cleveland, Baltimore. So not an easy schedule.
Not at all. I mean, you look at Buffalo on down, and it's a little bit of a gauntlet right there, and very similar to what they faced last year. But the hopes are that they will be able to finish a lot stronger than what we saw last year with that 5-game skid.
Exactly. You want to finish strong, and we'll see what they do. They got some really difficult games. Arthur, it's a pleasure.
Always good to see you.
Always good to see you. Looking good as always, and we thank you for watching tonight. If you have an opinion about this schedule or what you think of it, make sure you call us tonight on the Sports Call. That's at 10:35 on KDKA+. That's going to do it for us. Thank you for joining us for the 2025 Steelers Schedule Release Program. And we look forward to another outstanding season starting in September. But really, the NFL never stops. Have a good night.